Hi everyone, in this video let's have a look at the finance module in Fedena. We can find the finance module under administration. So now let's have a glance of the finance report in Fedena, for which I'm going to finance reports. Under reports option, I'm going to select the start date to view my finance report. So I'm giving an end date as well. Now you can have a look at the finance report for my institution. So these are the particulars that is available, and the expense and the income that has happened in my institution is displayed here. So below you can have a look at the graphical representation of my financial transactions. So here you can see the income and the expense for each particulars. Here you can have a look at the list of particulars and the amount. To have a detailed look, you can select the particulars. For example, the salary account, you can see there are various departments for which the salary has been credited. To have a detailed report, you can select the particular department and the employees get displayed here. The employee names and the salary amount with the month of the salary gets displayed, with the total salary amount that is credited for this particular department. The same way you can have a look at the other departments as well. The other particulars that are available here are donation fee accounts. So any donation that has happened in the institution can be entered as an income in the donation option, and that's get displayed here. The same way, when there's a fee collection that is happening in the institution, the transactions happening inside the institution gets displayed under the fees account. So that income gets displayed right here. You can also have a look at the fees accounts, and here you can have a look at the fee collections that has happened. Once when you select the fee collection, you get to see the students who have paid the fee and the amount that they have paid. You can also have a look at the payment mode and the payment note that has been attached in the finance module. So there are various other particulars that are displayed here. So these particulars that are listed here can either be inbuilt or can be created. So now let's have a look at the options where you can create these particulars or where you can add your expenses and income so that it get displayed in my finance report. So moving back to the finance module, and here you find the fee option. You can have a look at the configuration of fee video for more information. The next option that we have is a category. So here you can find the various category that is listed below. So these categories are something that is already created in Fedena. It's the applicant registration, the donation, fee, hostel, and these are categories that is already available in Fedena, and when there's any transaction that is happened under these categories, it gets displayed automatically in the finance report. Let me say that you have few other financial transactions that is happening in the institution and you want to add it right in the report, but these categories are not right enough. So you want more categories. In that case, you can add your finance category by going for create finance category. And here you need to give the category name, description, and if it's an income or an expense. So these are something that I have created to show an example. Say for example, books for students is a category that I've created with a name, and I know it's going to be an income for the institution, so I'm enabling this option. If it is an expense, I can disable the option and create such category. So you can create as many categories as you want, something that is not available in Fedena already, and you're going to add an expense or an income that is happening in the institution in your finance module. Let's move for the next option, say transactions. So you can add your expense or income right here. So you have an option called add expense. So here is where you're going to add an expense. You can add an expense, for example, I'm giving a title here as uniform material. If required, you can give a description. You need to give an amount here, say 5,000 rupees, and I'm selecting a date, say today's date, and I need to select a category under which this particular expense is going to be put. So now you can see these categories are nothing but the categories that I have created as an expense in the category option. So when I create a category, I have created these. So I'm going for one of the categories and I'm going to save it. So you can find this particular expense. So now you can find this particular expense under expense option. So once when you select the start date and end date, let me say for today's day, I want to see the expense that has happened in the institution. So when I give OK, you can see the expense that I have added and the amount. You can see the voucher number as well. You can also take a PDF report of it. Moving back to the income, let's add an income by going for add income. So let me assume there is an income that has happened in the institution. Now let me assume the institution has sold all the uniform to the students. I'm going to add a title as uniform. Give an amount here. Provide a date here. And you need to select a particular category under which this particular income is going to be added. So here you're going to select the category. I'm going to select the category and this income is added to this category. Now let me save it. You can find the incomes right here. Let me select today's date. And here you can see the income that has happened in the institution as uniform. You can see the amount, you can see the transaction date and the receipt number. So let me move back to the transaction option. So we had a look at the option where you can add the expense and income in your institution. You can also have a look at the reverted transaction report by going for reverted transaction. Here all you can have a look at the reverted transactions by selecting the transaction type and you can search it based on any category right below. Say admission number, date or fee collection name. So now you can have a look at the reverted transactions below. The next option that we have is the donation. As I said before, you can add donations in your institution by going for the option new. So here you can enter the name of the donation or it can be a donor. So let me enter a donation name right now. So I can select a transaction date in the calendar. I can enter an amount here. And if required, I can enter the additional details as well. I can add the donation right now. So you can take a receipt of the donation by going for print receipt here. You can also have a look at the donation that has happened in the institution by selecting the start date and the end date and search. So now you get to see the donation that has happened in the institution right below. You can see the list of donations and you can take a CSV report right here. You can also add additional fields so that it gets displayed while adding every donation. So there was an additional field that I have created, say contact number of the donor. So a name of the field was contact number and I have enabled the input method to be text box. And I have created. So this particular additional field that I have created gets displayed every time when I make a new donation. So here you can find the additional field that I have added. Moving to the finance option, the next thing that we have is a payslip. So any payslip that is being generated by the human resource person gets displayed here. So you can view the payslip that is being generated by the human resource person. So I'm going for view payslip, selecting a particular department or all departments, selecting a particular month, say the month of June, and I can view it. You get to see the payslip that is being generated for an employee. You can see the status pending because the finance person has not approved the payslip yet. You can see the status approved because the payslip has been approved by the finance person. You can have a look at it by going for the option view. So here you get to see the amount, the remark, and you can also take a PDF report. Let me have a look at the payslip that is being generated for the employee Sana. I'm going for the option view. I can approve it or reject it as a finance person. I can go for approve option or reject the payslip. So if at all I'm rejecting the payslip, it moves back to the human resource person and it will be displayed in the human resource module. Whereas if I'm approving the payslip, it moves to the next process. Let me approve this particular payslip. I need to give a remark here. Let me give a remark as approved and let me submit it. Now you can see the remark and you can take a PDF report. Now this payslip is being approved for this employee. So this is how the payslip option works. So you can view a payslip and approve a payslip for a particular employee. The same approval can be done by one click. By going for this option, one-click payslip approval. You can select this option, select the particular month and approve all the payslip that has been generated for this month. So under the finance option, there is a finance report where we had checked the finance report for the institution. You have other options, say compare transactions, where you can select the start date and end date of one particular duration and compare it with another duration. So I'm going to give a start date here. Let me give a start date for comparing and get a report now. So now you get to see two different transaction report. The report from 3rd March to 2nd of June and the report from 8th of July to 1st of September. I just want to have a look at both the reports and compare the expense and income in both the time duration. Below you find a chart that represents the income and expense that has happened in this particular time duration. So you can see the graph represents the time duration from 3rd of March to 2nd of June right below in the pink color, and the gray color is represented for 8th of July to 1st of September. So you can compare the transactions right here and based on the particulars displayed below. So this is how you can use the option compare transaction and have a comparison of the financial report in two different time durations. Moving back to the finance report, the third option that we have is fee receipts. So under fee receipts, you can search for a particular receipt by typing the receipt number here and search the receipt. Or you can have a look at the receipt by going for advanced search. You can go for a reference number, enter the reference number here, or filter the receipts based on any of these categories. See payment data from, to, and you can search for a receipt. Here you can see the receipt number, you can see the payer's name and the payer type and the department and the collection in which the student has paid the fee. So you can have a look at the receipt by going for the number here, and this is how the receipt looks like. Let's go back to the finance module under which we have assets and liability management. So here you're going to manage your assets and liability by entering it right here. So under assets, you can enter you can create assets right here by going for create, and you will have to enter the title and an amount for about your asset, an amount that you want to enter and save. So the asset that you're going to add get displayed under view asset. Now you can have a look at the assets that you have added, the date and the total amount. You can take a PDF report of it as well. The next similar way you can add the liability by going for create liability, provide a title for it, enter amount here and save. So you can have a look at the liabilities that you have created by going for view. Here you can see the liability and the amount, and you can take a PDF report of it. So that's all about finance module. Thanks for listening.